Today we are going to compare two print cartridges, the HP 564. This applies to any cartridge of this type, even the blacks. Cyan, magenta yellow, black, photo black. This all applies to them, so I only grind down one of each. This is a 564 standard capacity cartridge. This is a 564 XL. I'm going to show what defines them. Also, I'm not doing that again. I did this video before and I had sworn it, so I'm going to redo it. Essentially, I hit the sponge to see how much ink was left in this thing. Look how much black ink I got on my hand. And look how much ink, I got some magenta ink out of there, but not as much. So, in these 564 XL cartridges, this thing was clearly had quite a bit of ink wasted, as per the ink mess on the side. But this is what makes a 564 XL cartridge unique. This is actually a vent hole for the extra ink. Because how these cartridges work is this second part is an ink reservoir where it cuts off, which is about there. This is all sponge. This sucks up the ink. This is also filled with ink in the factory in China where these cartridges are made. So they fill this out with ink all the way. On the standard capacity, they only fill it with 3 to 4 milliliters. These hold a lot more. I don't know how much, but we'll get to the standard capacity cartridge later. But they fill this up with ink, and then they fill this up, I'd say 3/4 of the way, and they seal this off, and this is shipped. So this is mostly full, and it's because that little thing, that little hole there in this cartridge, HP could get away with jacking up the price and saying 2 times more wages. Here's how some other companies do it. Lexmark, or should I say piece of shit, does this differently. They don't fill it all the way. They're often full sponge cartridges, and they're just filled halfway. If you already filled in high capacity levels, you can inject more ink than the factory intended. HP does this on some of their older cartridges, even their older tricolors, but they don't do this anymore. So HP changed that design, so I can't give HP credit for it anymore. This is one of those cartridges that they changed it in. I don't have a 60 color to work with, but I'm not grinding mine down because mine are still pretty full and they're gonna make a mess. So I'm not gonna show a 60 off yet. But there you go. There's the inside of the black, and this is a color. Notice that this is lacking the hole, and because that lack a hole, you cannot fill this second chamber with ink. It's just gonna be wasted as a result. So there you go. One simple difference that lets HP jack the price of these things up tenfold, essentially. I wanted to show this off for years. I didn't have cartridges, and I finally get to do it. Thanks, HP. You wasted enough cartridges to let me do what I wanted, and douse my hand in ink.